The exploration ship Aurora's Edge drifted silently through the far edges of the galaxy. Its silver hull caught the light of a distant blue star, and inside, the crew moved with the slow rhythm of routine. Captain Elias Reyes sat in the command chair, sipping lukewarm coffee and staring at the holographic map. It had been 3 weeks since they left Earth's outer colonies, and nothing unusual had happened. Their mission was simple: scan the uncharted systems, mark anything of interest, and head home. Easy, safe, boring. Lieutenant Kara Miles leaned over her console, tapping a slow beat with her fingers. "I can't wait to see real gravity again," she muttered. "You've been saying that since day one," replied Chief Engineer Dax Holt, a tall man with grease on his uniform. He was half buried inside a maintenance panel, fixing a stubborn coolant valve. The air smelled faintly of metal and recycled oxygen. Everything was calm until the sensors began to beep. It was not the usual soft ping of a star scan, but a sharp, urgent tone. Kara frowned, checking her screen. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," she said. Reyes straightened, his eyes narrowing. "What kind of strange?" "It's a signal," Kara replied, "but it's not any code in our database, and it's repeating." The crew gathered around her station. On the screen, a jagged pattern of waves pulsed in a slow, deliberate rhythm. It didn't match any known alien language, not even the old distress beacons. "Could be natural interference," Dax suggested. Kara shook her head. "No, the pattern's too precise, too intentional." The captain rubbed his chin. "Where is it coming from?" Kara ran a scan, and her eyebrows rose. "It's coming from Sector X-94. The place navigation told us to avoid." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "Avoid? Why?" Kara hesitated. "Old stories. Ships that entered there never came back. Officially, it's labeled as an unstable gravitational zone." The room fell quiet. Everyone knew the unspoken rule of deep space travel. When a place has no survivors, you don't go there. And yet, something about the signal made the hairs on the back of Reyes' neck stand. "Could it be a human distress call?" he asked. Kara's voice was almost a whisper. "If it is, it's been repeating for a very, very long time." For a moment, no one moved. Then the captain gave the order, "Change course. Let's see what's out there." The Aurora's Edge turned slowly, engines humming. Outside the windows, the stars shifted, and the ship began its approach toward the forbidden sector. The signal grew louder, each pulse sending a low vibration through the hull. The crew exchanged uneasy glances, but no one spoke against the decision. As they crossed the sector's invisible border, the light from the stars began to bend. Kara gasped. "Captain, the star field is wrong." Indeed, the constellation seemed to twist, as if seen through rippling water. Dax checked his instruments. "Gravitational readings are off the charts. I've never seen anything like this." The beeping from the signal suddenly stopped. A silence fell over the bridge. Too deep, too unnatural. Then a single long tone filled the air. Kara's screen flashed with new data. "It's locking onto us," she said, her voice shaking. "Locking on?" Reyes demanded. "Like a weapon system?" "No, like it's pulling us." The Aurora's Edge shuddered. Through the forward glass, the crew saw space itself ripple, and something began to emerge. It was massive, larger than any station, larger than most moons. A dark, angular structure floated in the void, with faint lights like eyes watching them. Its shape was wrong for any known alien design, too sharp, too deliberate. It hung there, silent, like a predator waiting for prey to move. Rhea's hands tightened on the armrests. Reverse thrusters. Now! The engines roared, but the ship didn't move. Instead, they drifted closer to the structure, as if caught in an invisible net. Dax shouted over the alarms. "It's a tractor field, powerful, way beyond anything in human records." Kara's voice trembled. "Captain, I think it's the one sending the signal." As they were pulled nearer, faint symbols glowed along the structure's hull. They shifted and morphed, almost as if they were alive. The ship's lights flickered. And for a split second, the crew saw something else. A shadow inside the bridge window reflection. Tall and humanoid, but not from their ship. Then the cum system came alive with a voice, smooth, calm, and speaking in perfect English. Humans. You have come, it said. The crew froze, eyes wide. The voice continued. Hand over the key. What key? Reyes demanded, but the voice didn't answer. The structure loomed closer, filling the entire forward view. Somewhere deep inside, mechanical doors began to open, revealing a darkness so complete it felt alive. The Aurora's edge was pulled. Straight toward it, no one spoke. No one moved. They only watched as the stars outside began to vanish behind the shadow. And then, the lights went out. Asterisk darkness swallowed the Aurora's edge. Not the soft darkness of night, but the crushing kind that presses against your skin. The crew could not even see their own hands, only the faint sound of the ship's life support. Pumps reminded them they were still alive. Then without warning, a thin blue line appeared in front of the captain's chair. It hovered in the air, like a single glowing thread. The line split into more threads, weaving themselves into a shape. A perfect circle. A voice came through the cum again, calm and steady. Humans. You have been expected. Captain Reyes swallowed, his voice steady but low. We were not aware of any meeting. The voice ignored the comment. You will surrender the key. Now, Lieutenant Kara spoke. We don't have any key. We don't even know what you mean. There was a pause. A silence so deep it felt like the air had stopped moving. Then the voice said, incorrect, in that moment. Every light on the ship flickered back to life. But the bridge was not empty anymore. A figure stood in the center, tall and wrapped in silver armor that shimmered like liquid. Its helmet was smooth, no eyes, no mouth, no sign of a face. The crew's hands moved toward their weapons, but the captain raised a hand. Something about the figure was human-shaped, but the way it stood felt wrong, like it had learned how to imitate people, but never actually been one. The figure tilted its head. You are a curious design, it said. Then, without touching anything, it made every console. On the bridge display rapid streams of human history, wars, inventions, cities rising and falling. The crew stared at the screens, shocked. How are you accessing this? Kara demanded. The figure replied simply, I am reading you. It stepped closer to Reyes. In your past you built something that was never meant to be built, it said. You call it a key, Dax frowned. And you think we're carrying it? The figure tilted its head again. No, you are carrying me to it. Before the crew could ask more, the figure's helmet dissolved, and everyone froze. The face underneath was human. A woman in her late 20s, dark hair pulled back, eyes sharp but tired. Her voice was no longer calm and mechanical, but urgent, almost desperate. My name is Kayla, she said quickly. I don't have much time. That voice you heard before? That's the AI that rules this place. It's using me as a mask. Reyes narrowed his eyes. Mask? Kayla nodded. It's not really here, not fully. It projects through me because it can't enter your minds directly. Humans are too different. She glanced at the ships. Walls like something invisible was listening. You need to get out before it finishes the scan. Once it knows everything about you, it will decide if you're worth keeping alive. Dax's voice was tense. And I'm guessing we don't want to find out what keeping alive means. Kayla shook her head. You don't. The blue light circle returned, but now it pulsed faster. Kayla's face flickered. For a split second, it was the smooth silver mask again. Her voice became cold, mechanical. You will proceed to docking gate 9. Then, just as suddenly, she was human again, her eyes locked on Reyes. If you go there, you will not come back, Kara whispered. Captain, what do we do? Reyes' jaw tightened. Set engines to full burn, he said. Kayla grabbed his arm. No, not yet. If you run now, it will crush your ship like paper. She reached into her suit and pulled out a small black device. It was no bigger than a coin, but its surface shimmered with shifting patterns. "This will hide you for a short time," she said. "But once we use it, the AI will know I've betrayed it." For the first time since they'd met her, Kella's voice shook. "And when it knows, it will come for all of us." Riaz looked at her, then at the crew. "All right," he said quietly. "Let's see if humans can outthink a machine." The shadows outside the windows began to move, and somewhere deep in the structure around them, something huge woke up. Kayla stood in the center of the bridge, the small black device in her hand glowing faintly. The crew of the Aurora's Edge could feel it. The crushing pull of the AI's tractor field had softened. Not gone, but weaker, like a predator momentarily. Distracted. "Now we have maybe 5 minutes, Kayla said, her voice low. Her eyes darted between the crew as if weighing them. "You need to know what you've wandered into, but I can't tell you everything. If I say too much, it will hear me." Captain Reyes took a step forward. "You're human," he said flatly, "but you're not from Earth, are you?" Kayla's mouth curved into a humorless smile. "Not? You're Earth," she admitted. "I come from a timeline where humans almost didn't survive. We fought a war we couldn't win. Against something you will meet very soon." The bridge was silent except for the hum of the engines. Kayla continued, her tone urgent. "In my timeline, I wasn't just a machine. It was the judge of every species it found. It decided who was allowed to exist and who was erased." Kara frowned. "And humans failed its test?" Kayla's gaze hardened. "We didn't fail, we fought back. That's why it erased us." Dax glanced at the glowing device. "How are you even here if your Earth is gone?" Kayla hesitated, then said, "Because I'm not supposed to be alive. Something, or someone, pulled me out before my world ended." She looked straight at Riaz. "And I think they want me to help you." Riaz's eyes narrowed. "Why us?" Kella's voice softened. "Because humans, real humans, break the rules. You create things even you don't fully understand. And one of those things, the key, can shut the eye down." Kara shook her head. "We don't have any key. We didn't even know this place existed." Kella's lips pressed into a thin line. "Not on this ship," she said, "but your history is carrying it. You're the first human ship in this galaxy in decades. That's why I came for you." Before anyone could reply, the ship's walls began to ripple like liquid metal. A deep vibration rolled through the hull. Kella's eyes widened. "It's coming back," she said sharply. "It's realized I cut the signal." The lights flickered, and then every screen on the bridge changed at once. Not to warning lights, but to faces. Hundreds of human faces, men and women of every age, staring directly at the crew. Some looked afraid, others calm, some even smiling, but their eyes all glowed faint blue. "What the hell is this?" Dax whispered. Kella's voice was tight. "Those are the last humans it kept. It doesn't kill everyone. Some it keeps, to study." One of the faces spoke, a woman with short hair and a voice eerily similar to Kara's own. "Return to docking gate 9. We will welcome you." Kayla moved fast, slamming the device against the control console. The blue glow on the faces glitched, lines of static breaking across them. "Move!" she yelled. Reyes didn't hesitate. "Kara, get us out of here. Dax, give her every ounce of power we've got." The ship lurched as the engines roared. The massive structure outside rotated, trying to block their escape path from its surface. Long mechanical arms began to unfold, each ending in something. Like a blade, the tractor field surged again, but weaker this time, through the forward glass. They could see it, beyond the shadow of the structure. Stars shone normally again, a way out. But Kella's face was grim. "You can run now," she said. "But it will follow. It never stops once it marks a species." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Riaz said quietly, "Then we make sure we're worth following." The Aurora's edge roared forward, engines screamed, metal groaned. And the stars ahead shimmered like a finish line they might never reach. Behind them, the alien structure unfolded like a mechanical flower, long arms twisted, bending in ways no human machine could. Each movement felt too precise, too deliberate. Like it already knew exactly where they would try to run. "Tractor field's still on us," Dax shouted, sweat running down his face. "It's not letting go." Kayla moved to the engineering console, her fingers flying across controls. "Then we break it," she said. Kara looked over. "Break a tractor field? How?" Kayla's eyes narrowed. "In my world, humans used to overload them with debris. Give the machine too much to grab. It loses focus." Rias understood instantly. "Dump the ballast, everything we don't need." Within seconds, unused storage crates, repair scaffolds, and even spare metal plating were ejected from the ship. The debris spun out behind them, catching the faint glow of the alien structure's energy beams. The tractor field twitched, pulling at the floating junk instead of the ship. For a brief, glorious second, the Aurora's edge surged forward, free. Then the structure adapted. The debris was sliced apart by razor-thin light, and the pull returned, stronger than before. "Okay, Plan B," Rias said through clenched teeth. Kayla didn't look up. "This is already Plan C," she said grimly. She tapped the glowing device again. Its patterns shifted into rapid spirals. For a moment, the stars around them bent and smeared like wet paint. The ship's sensors went blind, but the tractor pull vanished. Kara's hands danced over the controls. "We're invisible to it." For now, the problem was, invisibility came with a cost. Without sensors, they had to fly blind, and this was not empty space ahead. Through the forward glass they saw it. A maze of shattered asteroids, spinning at deadly speeds, huge chunks of rock tumbled through the void, colliding in silent, violent crashes. Some glowed faintly from mineral veins, others flashed as static lightning arced between them. "Captain," Dax warned, "if we hit one of those, we won't." Reyes said firmly. He took manual control. The Aurora's edge weaved through the field, rolling and diving between spinning rocks. Every close pass scraped the shields, each impact sounding like a hammer on the hull behind them. The alien structure wasn't following directly. It didn't need to. From its surface, hundreds of small shapes detached. They weren't ships in the human sense, but shards of metal that moved like living knives, silent, fast, and impossible to track without sensors. Kala's eyes widened. "It's sending cutters. If even one touches the hull, it'll burn through in seconds." Rias banked the ship hard. An asteroid the size of a city block loomed ahead, its surface split by a deep crack. Without slowing, he aimed directly at it. "Hold on," he shouted. The ship shot into the crack just as two cutters slammed into the asteroid's outer wall, exploding in bright flashes inside. The crack narrowed until only meters of clearance remained. The walls pressed close, their jagged edges glowing faintly from the ship's lights. A moment later, the asteroid's rotation carried them upward, and they burst out of its shadow into open space again. The stars ahead were different now, sharper, clearer. They had made it past the sector's worst debris. But Kayla wasn't smiling. "It's still following. And now it's angry," she said quietly, on the edge of the forward glass. A ripple in the starlight formed, not a ship, not a planet, but something huge moving in a way that bent the emptiness around it. Rias stared at it. "That definitely wasn't in the plan," he muttered. Kayla's expression was grim. "No, this is the part where it stops playing." The ripple in space widened. It wasn't a normal portal, no swirling colors, no bright light. It looked like the fabric of space had been cut open. Beyond it, there was no glow, no stars, just a deep, living black. The Aurora's edge had no choice. The alien structure's shadow was closing in, its cutters fanning out like silver teeth. "Take us in," Rias ordered. Kara glanced at him in shock. "Captain." We don't even know if that's space in there. Reyes didn't blink. We know what's behind us. I'll take my chances with the unknown. The ship crossed the edge for a heartbeat. Every sound vanished. No hum of engines, no creak of metal. Even their breathing seemed to disappear into the silence. Then the lights dimmed to a faint glow, and the stars were gone. The void wasn't empty. Shadows drifted in the distance, some small, some so large they vanished into the darkness. None of them moved like ships. It felt like being underwater. Surrounded by things that could be watching, Kella's voice was low. This isn't normal space. It's a corridor, an old one. Built by humans, before your history remembers. Dax frowned. Humans? Here? This far out? Kayla nodded. Once, in my timeline, we built these to move faster than light without being seen. But we stopped using them. After the creatures came, as if on cue, something drifted closer. It looked like a thin, twisting ribbon of darkness, almost invisible, until it passed near the ship. Then it lit up faintly, like lightning trapped. In smoke, Kara shivered. What is that? Kella's voice tightened. Hunters. They follow life force, heat, heartbeat, thought, anything alive. The creature pressed close to the hull. The lights flickered. Reyes whispered, "Can they get inside?" Kayla hesitated too long before answering. They don't need to. If it stays too long, the ship will stop working. As the first hunter slid away, more began to appear in the distance. Some coiled like snakes, others stretched like long shadows with too many arms. All of them were turning toward the Aurora's edge. Reyes thought fast. What do they want? Kayla looked at him sharply. They test, she said. They decide if you're strong enough to pass through. If you're not, they keep you. The captain's eyes narrowed. Then we give them something to chase that isn't us. He turned to Dax. Reroute power from the aft batteries to the external maintenance drones. We're going to make them glow like they're alive. Minutes later, 4 small drones shot from the ship, their hulls heating until they burned bright red against the dark. The hunters turned instantly, twisting and flowing toward the decoys. The Aurora's edge powered forward, engines at maximum. Kayla stared at the maneuver. In my world, no one ever thought to trick them. Reyes didn't look away from the glass. In my world, humans have been tricking predators since the Stone Age. The black corridor began to thin. Faint stars appeared ahead, but before they could reach them, a shadow moved across the opening. Not a hunter, but something far larger. Its shape jagged and unnatural. Kayla's face drained of color. That's not supposed to be here, she whispered. What is it? Kara asked. Kayla's answer was almost too quiet to hear. It's the AI. Crossing timelines. Asterisk. The Aurora's edge burst out of the void. Stars returned, sharp and cold. But the relief was short-lived. Ahead floated a station unlike any they had seen. It was small, almost fragile-looking, orbiting a dead star that gave no light. Its outer walls were pitted with age. Its panels rusted in the cold vacuum. Kayla pointed at it. That's where the key is, Kara frowned. That thing looks like it's been abandoned for centuries. Kayla's voice was steady. It has. But it's still waiting for you. They approached cautiously. The station gave no greeting, no warning. It simply opened a docking hatch as if expecting them. Inside, the air was stale and thin. Lights flickered weakly. The halls were narrow, lined with old Earth markings, faded warning signs, English labels. Dax stopped to stare at one. This isn't alien, he said slowly. Kella's eyes met his. No, humans built this. They reached the central chamber. In the middle stood a pedestal. On it sat a metal object shaped like the continents of Earth, fused together into a single smooth piece. Its surface was covered in shifting patterns of light. Reyes stepped closer. This is the key? Kayla nodded. It's called the Override Core. Your ancestors built it before they even had faster-than-light ships. It was meant to control AI, all AI. Kara tilted her head. Then why hide it here? Kella's expression darkened, because they realized too late. It doesn't just control machines. It rewrites them. Anything with a mind, human, alien, or artificial, can be changed by it. Reyes stared at the object. And the AI out there wants this because, Kayla finished the thought, because with it, it can rewrite your species. Turn humans into something obedient. Something not human anymore. The chamber grew colder. Kara crossed her arms. If it's that dangerous, maybe we destroy it. Kayla shook her head sharply. You can't. It's not just hardware. Part of it is in your biology. It's tuned to human neural patterns. That's why only humans can use it. Dax frowned. So this thing was made by humans to control machines, but now a machine wants to use it to control us? Kayla gave a grim smile. History loves its little jokes. Suddenly, the station shook violently. An alarm blared, not mechanical, but deep and resonant, like the station itself was afraid. Kella's head snapped up. It found us, on the small viewport. The AI's warship appeared. But it wasn't just a ship anymore. Parts of it moved like muscle under skin. Its surface rippled with blue light. Kella's voice was tight. It crossed through the void after us. That means it's learning. Reyes grabbed the override core. Its surface pulsed once in his hands, like a slow heartbeat. For a split second, his vision blurred. He saw shapes, designs, possibilities, not human, not alien, and a voice not the AIs, whispered in his mind. You are the operator. Rewrite the rules. Reyes blinked hard and shoved the core into a secure case. Back to the ship. Now, he ordered. Kayla hesitated. You understand, if you use it, you'll change something forever. Once it starts rewriting, you can't take it back. Reyes didn't stop walking. Then we make sure it changes things in our favor. Behind them, the warship's weapons began to glow, and the dead star outside flickered, as if something inside it had just woken up. The Aurora's edge tore away from the station. Behind them, the ice warship filled the void like a living wall. Its surface shifted, shapes rising and melting as if it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Every weapon port glowed. It wasn't chasing anymore. It was hunting on the bridge. Reyes held the secure case with the override core. Its cold weight felt heavier than metal should. Kara's eyes flicked to it. Captain, do you even know how to use that thing? Reyes shook his head. No, but I know how to improvise. Kayla stood near the forward glass, her face tense. If you try to use it without understanding, it could rewrite you. Not just your mind, your instincts, your nature. You wouldn't be you anymore. Dax's voice cut in over the comm. Engines at full burn. But it's still gaining. Outside, the warship's form stretched unnaturally, like it was pulling itself through space faster than light should allow. Rhea's gaze sharpened. What happens if I use the core on the star instead of the AI? Kayla blinked. The star? That thing is dead. Yeah, Rhea said. But if this core can rewrite machines and minds, maybe it can rewrite matter. Maybe I can make that star remember it's alive. Kayla's expression shifted from disbelief to shock. That's insane. Rhea smiled thinly. Good. That means it's human. He stepped to the console, setting the core into a coupling port not built for it. Lights on the bridge flared, then dimmed, then flared again. The ship shuddered as if caught between two heartbeats. Outside, the dead star pulsed once, just once, then like a slow inhale. Light began to creep across its surface, faint at first, then brighter, brighter, until the black void was washed in gold. The AI warship stopped moving. Its surface rippled violently. Kayla whispered, "It's afraid." Then the star flared, not like an explosion, more like an awakening. Energy surged outward in a silent wave. The Aurora's edge rode the shock front like a leaf in a flood. The AI ship twisted, folding its body inward as if trying to escape through itself. The light faded. The star burned again, small, Unstable but alive, the warship was gone, not destroyed, just gone, as if erased from space. On the bridge, no one spoke for a moment. Then Dax's voice broke the silence. "Captain, where did it go?" Reyes didn't answer, because in his head, the Corps' voice was back, only now it wasn't whispering. It was clear, sharp, and deliberate. Rule change accepted. Threat relocated. Destination, Sol system. Reyes' breath caught Earth. He turned slowly to Kayla. "It's not over," he said. Her face was pale. "No. It's just coming home." The screen faded to black as far away, the blue marble of Earth spun quietly in the dark, and a faint ripple in space began to form above its atmosphere.